Hello and thanks for watching. I'm Rob Flint and with me today I've got Mick McDermott and we're here to give you an update on the off-course bookmaking industry. But more importantly than that, we're here to inform you of and direct you to an online petition which we feel is very important and requires bringing to your attention. So as we intend to keep this video shorter than the last two that we made, probably around about half an hour or so, I'm going to hand you straight over to Mike, who's going to bring you straight to the forefront with the details of the petition, and we'll take it from there as we go along. So over to you, Mike, and I'll let you carry on from there with the details.
Right, hello again everybody. I'm sure by now a lot of you recognise me and Rob. I'm sure you fully understand what we, and I want to mention Adrian Parkinson at Campaign for Fairer Gambling, are trying to achieve with this petition that's been online now for 2 weeks and a day, and there are over 400 signatures on there already. Let me tell you what will happen with this petition. The petition runs for 12 months, but in September there will be a handing over of the petition to Paul Darling of the Association of British Bookmakers. It will be made in London, and I'm guaranteed that if there are sufficient signatures on it by that time, i.e. between 2,000 and 3,000, that Mirror Group newspapers will cover the presentation of that, and there will be a small item in the newspaper as to what it's all about. Now then, that is what we've been wanting for ages, to get some sort of national recognition that a massive group of people are so utterly pissed off by being robbed, cheated and marginalised by these people who class themselves as bookmakers still, that we want to get something done about it. Excuse me. Let me tell you more precisely what it's trying to achieve. If you are aware of what's happened recently in New South Wales, and you're aware of it, Rob,
I am indeed, yes I am, yes.
There was a ruling in Australia, state of New South Wales, that as from a particular date, which I imagine will be very shortly, everyone betting on horse racing in that state will be guaranteed a minimum bet of with any bookmaker operating on horse racing there to lose a minimum of £1,000 Australian dollars, and I believe that equates to about £550 quid.
Yeah.
So in effect, it's like a score each way on a 20 shot, right?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Which sod all, is it?
No,
really.
No.
But in the scheme of things, it's good.
Well, that's right. They are. You can get a bet on. Yeah, that's something.
Yeah. Let me also read you this. The guy, the chief executive of New South Wales Racing, said all punters should be able to place a legitimate bet on New South Wales thoroughbred races and should not be discriminated against by having their accounts closed or bets refused simply because they're successful. He also said this: bookmakers will not be allowed to close accounts, restrict accounts below that stated level, and be able to refuse to open accounts in order to avoid complying with the rules. Now, if we can do this in Australia, then why in the name of God can't we do that in this country, Ron?
Yes, absolutely, Mike. Obviously the bookmakers are running the authorities over here, and over there the authorities are running the bookmakers, so you can see straight away where the differential is, can't you? Definitely.
Yeah, I think you've summed that up exactly, that the bookmakers entirely control everything, what's happening in this country. Control the racing post, they control the people on the TV, on the racing channels, they control what's happening in racing authority, all the lot.
Sure, yeah.
Bookmaker control, and it's an outrage. Anyway, we believe between us that a petition will be a decent and sensible way to go forward in this. It will raise awareness of what we're trying to do, and eventually, when taken up by the press, not the Racing Post, because to be honest, they've been approached, they've already been told about this disgusting state of affairs over a period of a year or more, and not wanted to do anything. But when the press eventually do find out that bookmakers allow no one to win in this country, and we're not talking bollocks again, we tell you, like I've told you in the last programme, all you get from us is the truth. Bookmakers will not allow anyone to win, and it's a situation once highlighted nationally and done something about. So if you agree with us, and the whole swathes of you do, then please sign this petition and let's get numbers up in the next couple of weeks so that they begin to take notice of us. I'm going to give you, if you've got a pen and paper, we'll give you this link 2 or 3 times, and also feel free to email me if you find any difficulty in accessing this link to sign the petition. Email me to mickmcdermott79@outlook.com, and if I get enough inquiries I'll stay up all night sending you the link if need be, if you have difficulties. But the link to access this petition site is ow.ly/ZA capital A capital T small c. I'll repeat that, ow.ly/ZA capital A capital T small c. So that's what we're trying to achieve, and I think really this week, Rob, we've been sent some manna from the gods, really, don't we, with Tom Seagal.
Certainly Tom Seagal in the Racing Post and Paul Keeley in the Racing Post, you know, both expressing the disgust at what they've been offered by a certain bookmaking firm. Yes, definitely.
But yeah. I knew that Tom Seagal had got a special accommodation with Stan James to get as much as 15p.
Did you? Yeah. He's always been lucky, that guy.
Lucky sod. Yeah. And the rest of us get nothing. And I've been doing some tweeting, and Giovanni's been interlinked with this tweeting in the past 24 hours. Giovanni thinks I'm foul-mouthed and abusive, which I own up to. What I don't own up to is being a fucking liar and a bullshitter who continually tries to pretend on TV that his firm, and by the very nature of being in his job, all the rest of them are respectable, they deal with you fairly, and that they're operating in the supposedly in the welfare of the racing industry. Well, me and him and thousands others disagree.
Absolutely.
And I've told Giovanni and Claire and others why I tend to get a bit foul-mouthed about it. It's because, and you know this, Rob,
yeah,
we've been politely through various channels. We've contacted the Racing Post by email. We've contacted them by tweet saying, why don't you do anything about this closed accounts? Do you know punters can't get bets on? Why should people be offered bets at 10p with Bet365? Virtually closed down with some of them. Boyle Sports, the biggest set of renegades crawling the earth. And nothing happens. So people are driven into these corners, so they start to be abusive. So they start to call people scumbags, arseholes, wankers. And by and large, that's what we think they are, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it really is key that something is done about it. Giovanni tweeted that the vast majority of Stan James customers are perfectly happy with the service that they get. It's almost beyond belief. These guys are like some of him and Shinners. They're so brass-necked that they tell you anything.
Absolutely. I think Rory's putting a claim in already to try and keep his title of the king of the bullshitters. He's putting an early claim in by, we'll say he's already been putting it to 1 to retain his title.
Oh.
But it's only to 15p.
Well, I've given him a new nickname, Rob, Houdini.
Oh, right.
Giovanni.
Right.
A sort of a master of escaping the truth, like Houdini escaped from all these impossible situations. It's like Giovanni, you know, like Houdini Giovanni. It sounds like an Indian test batsman, doesn't it?
It does actually.
Giovanni.
Yeah. Could. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Giovanni Army. We're on the Giovanni Army.
It's got a ring to it. It's got a ring to it.
Chants like that at test match. We are the Giovanni Army.
Could get it on the race course.
We are the Stan James 15p boys. That could get, you think that might catch on a race course once everybody gets drift of it?
Yeah. Especially one of those meetings where they sponsor.
Yeah. Well, anyway, a vote for this petition. It's also not just a vote about these unfair practices. It's also a vote to get something done. Who knows? It might even get rid of Giovanni and Shinners off the telly, in fact. But I think both of them because they've got such brass necks and got the nerve to come on telly, Rob. They ought to have other TV roles, didn't they? I don't know what Giovanni could be in, but maybe move Shinners to Emmerdale Farm and have him on as a sheep rustler or something like that. Find him hanged from a tree in Wensleydale with a email stuck up his arse which says closed account on it. It'd be a good end for him, wouldn't it? A pleasant end. I reckon to pull in viewers.
It's a poignant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So yeah, a vote for this petition, and once again ow.ly/ZA capital A capital T small c. A vote there, register your signature online, and it helps us towards even, who knows, maybe stopping all this claptrap on television about bookmakers seeing money for this and money for that, because it's an outrage. It really is. And apart from the 15p, a friend of mine emailed me, Paddy Power had done him a better £3.75 anti-post on something for the King George.
Jesus.
The same guy emailed me today with a conversation taking place between Skybet and one of their customers. And you know this best odds guarantee thing with Skybet? They'd scammed this guy.
Right.
He'd bet a winner at around 7-2. It started 9-2, and they didn't honour the best odds guarantee.
Oh, right.
They said they'd emailed him. He told them they were talking bollocks. He'd never received such an email.
Right.
And this is the dirty scum and filth that it's become. I'll state my case and make it clear. Some of these firms of bookmakers now are the dirtiest sets of bloody scoundrels who are crawling the earth in this country. And I mean that. From the evidence that I've got here, me and Rob are sitting on one or two pieces of information that will bloody explode this whole business, explode this whole facade, this world of bullshit with people on television sucking bookmakers' arses, so deeply embedded up bookmakers' arses that the stains will never come out. It's appalling. And we've got evidence to suggest why one or two in the Racing Post don't want to get involved in this criticism of bookmakers, but maybe that'll come out in the newspapers in September. But we've got to get numbers up. We can't emphasise enough on
No, we do. We do need your help on this one. We want the numbers to shoot up, really. You know, we want to get it. We want to get the bandwagon rolling, and this is why we're on here today, to alert you of this and ask for your help and keep giving you the link so that you can join the band. Basically, it's no point sitting on your hands keep saying to Mike and myself, "Oh, you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job." Now's the time for people to get on board and vote.
Yeah. We had a talk a couple of days ago, didn't we? That you don't have to be directly so involved in this that the only people who can sign it are those who've had all their accounts closed or can't get a bet on. My daughters have signed it. My daughters are tied up in this because I'm prevented from having a bet. I can't have a bet with lots of any of them, Rob.
No.
I do get on. You know where I get on.
Yes.
But I know the vast majority don't. They're completely bloody up the creek without a paddle.
Yeah, completely gone.
As it's concerned. And the number of people who are being turned away from racing by this complete refusal of bookmakers to do things fairly, it's untrue. And the racing authorities can't see it. They've got their heads stuck up their arses. I cannot believe the short-sightedness of everybody with this.
No. Well, it's like we said earlier, the bookmakers are certainly running the show, aren't they? And the authorities just, well, I don't know if it's ignorance or what it is, but they don't...
and sitting on machine profits,
yeah,
Rob.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Sitting on machine profits so they don't have to get involved in horse racing.
No.
And anybody such as Giovanni who thinks this is all about Stan James, it's not. We just find an easy target.
No, certainly not. I mean, it's not just one firm. Certainly not. No.
If, for instance, if you take Fred Dunn, I saw an article in the Racing Post about a year ago, which is virtually free advertising for Fred Dunn. Fred Dunn saying he stopped a lot of people because of arbing. Well, A, Fred Dunn has no knowledge of who's arbing or if they're arbing. Secondly, it's got fuck all to do with Fred Dunn, because once that transaction is conducted online or on a phone or in a shop, the person legitimately puts down the phone or leaves the shop, And from that moment in time, it's got nothing to do with Fred Dunn, is it?
No, not at all. Not at all.
It's like somebody buys a pair of shoes and says, follow you out of the shop. You can't wear them at weekends, pal. So that's one thing. Secondly, I'll tell you a little secret now about this arsehole Dunn. When he was developing his... You don't know this
I
one.
don't know this one, probably, no.
When he was developing his grubby empire in the Manchester area, where it had its roots, I dealt with a guy who lived and still lives in Greater Manchester. He got one or two bets on for me. He knew what he was doing himself. And I'm going back before the days of betting exchanges. He said to me, you'll get fuck all on with that twat if you know what you're doing. He meant Fred Dunn's shops.
Right.
I'll always remember that quote. It sort of sticks in your mind, doesn't it? So
yeah, it's one of them, isn't it?
in your face.
Yeah.
I'll repeat it. You get fuck all on with that twat if you know what you're doing. That's all Dunn's interested in removing from his list of customers anybody as a potential winner or anybody who's shown that they are winning. Piss off is the message, and that's the message throughout this grubby industry. If you're making any money, or even as you said rightly last time, betting a couple of shortens.
Yeah, just a couple of shortens will do it. Yeah, don't need to win. Don't need to win. And get your card marked for nothing.
It's appalling. So what we're trying to do with this petition, we're saying we've had enough of the bullshit. We've had enough of the lies. We've had enough of this grubby industry and its day-to-day practices, and we want to get something done. But it's only if we get the numbers there that we're going to put any pressure on these people to do anything. Now, I don't know what Paul Darling will do with this petition. He may take it somewhere, just ignore it. I have no idea. But what he won't be able to ignore are these gathering noises in other places. They can't ignore it. It's a bit like news coming out that you beat your wife.
Yeah.
The first person gets to know about it might be your next door neighbour, and so every fucker in the district knows that you beat your wife up. And that's what it'll be like with this dirty pile of filth. And just let me also give mention to Simon Clare. I like to mention him because I sent him a tweet one night. I did tell you about this, Ron. Let's tell everybody who's watching this. I sent Simon Clare a tweet one night. It was a bit mischievous, really. And it said, are you happy making an easy living on the back of broken marriages, house repossessions, suicides, and the general misery of others? He tweeted me back, whether it was pissed or not, I don't know, but the tweet read, do I know you from somewhere? No, don't think I do. Whereupon a couple of people picked up on this conversation on Twitter. One used some abusive language at him, told him what he thought about it. The following morning, me and these others were described by Simon Clare on Twitter as vile people. Clare was referring to me and the other decent blokes on Twitter who were supportive of what we're doing as vile people. Repulsive and disgusting is a dictionary definition. Well, let me tell you, you fucking grinning arsehole, Clare, I'm neither repulsive or disgusting. I'm not a fucking liar. I don't target the poor and vulnerable in emails to shops to target people for machines. I don't set out fucking breakfast tables in shops to try and get these people in there. And I also imagine that you won't be attending the funeral of that guy who hanged himself this week because he lost £100,000 on these fucking machines that you're pushing down people's throats. So once again, and you listen, if you get this message, you fucking arsehole, don't refer to me, a working class bloke from a good background, pretty decent, straightforward and honest, foul-mouthed, yeah, I own up to that, but foul-mouthed at people who deserve it, such as yourself. So I'm sticking up for the people on Twitter and elsewhere who target you and all the fucking rest of your lot who make people's lives a misery, who try and cheat them and rob them, stop their accounts, stop them from betting, and pursue them to get them to play these dreadful, disgusting machines to boost your bloody profits and your personal income. If anybody's vile, Claire, it's you and the fucking rest of your mob. Now, that's said my little piece, and I don't give a monkey's arsehole who thinks I'm abusive or foul-mouthed or whatever. You've got that message, and I want everybody else who believes in that message, and you do out there, I know you do, then sign this petition and let's take them to task for being the filth that they are. A couple of other things, Rob. I mentioned to you, some people might not be signing because they might have one or two accounts left.
Yeah, they could have a few dormant accounts, so to speak, or piss spot accounts where they can get a fiver on or whatever. Yeah, yes, they could well do.
And you know where I get on, don't you?
Yes,
one place. Yeah. So I'm promising everybody who signs this petition, don't be worried about having some poxy account with Betfred or Coral that you can get a tenner on. Don't worry. You sign this petition, or you've already signed, you can email me, tweet me. Once I verify that you've signed the petition, I'll give you the contact details of an extremely good and fair independent. You get a bet on, best price Hills Corals Ladbrokes. The guy's brilliant. There's no bullshit about anybody disappearing into backgrounds, no traders' decisions, nothing. You ask for the bet, exactly what you get I don't know, but it will be a decent bet if you want it.
Well, he's as good an independent as we've come across, Mike, isn't he?
Yeah.
Over the years,
yeah.
You know, we have come across quite a few.
Yeah.
He's as good as any.
So that's a guaranteed promise from me. You'll get the number of that guy, and he's happy to receive your call and do business with you. He's made that clear. So that's first thing. These people I've mentioned, you know, Rob, the Racing Post,
yeah.
TV people.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your summation of the attitude of this lot towards it all?
Well, they just treat us with contempt, don't they? They just think that we're just beating a drum and we're going to go away, don't they? They just think we, like you said about Claire and them, they think what they think about you, and they just haven't got time for us, have they? They just want to sweep us under the carpet.
That's it.
Yeah.
Swept under the carpet. I think I mentioned to you that I've originally tried to send quite sensible messages to Millington, toward Mottershead, others at the Post. Some involved in TV, Sean Boyce, others. I'll tell you about the reception that I've had from these people, and then I want to make a suggestion to you. I contacted Millington 4 or 5 times by tweets, asking him when they were going to do something at the Racing Post about it all. No response at all. When I saw the article about Boyle Sports in the Racing Post, which I found an absolute utter disgrace, these are gutter filth, I suggested to him that maybe all the journalists at the Racing Post were complete arseholes, whereupon I was blocked.
Oh, right.
Mottershead, I sent one tweet to, perfectly polite, blocked. Maybe Millington had told him to block me, I don't know. Paul Keeley, who was complaining the other day in the Racing Post about some ridiculous betting being offered, something in coppers anyway, I've sent him numerous tweets and he's not blocked me. So I'm assuming he's a reasonable bloke. But Millington, Mottershead, that's the attitude they've got. We don't want to hear about this. Even if you're polite, we don't want to hear about it. On the TV, I sent Sean Boyce several tweets. First one, no, I didn't send Sean Boyce several tweets, I sent him one. I said, are you related to all the bookmakers who come on the programme? It seems that way. You know, this gushy, smarmy manner that he's got with him. And it's appalling. It closed down their block straight away. So I'm suggesting, and I think it will help our cause. All you Twitterers out there, you know who you are. I know, I regard many of you as friends now on Twitter. You share our views, you know what the situation is. Send them some tweets. Send Millington and Mottershead and the rest of them. Send them some tweets. Tell them what you think about them. I'm not suggesting what you say, but I imagine it'll be along the lines of what we think. Let them know. Tell them that we've got this petition and tell them that it's going places. Tell them that we're going to do something. And last of all, let me tell you, if you don't sign this petition, you're going to get screwed and screwed and screwed by this shower of shit until you're trampled into the dust, aren't you?
Absolutely, I agree 100% with that. Yes, absolutely so.
Worse by the week. So please remember the petition. I'll give it again, ow.ly/ZA, capital A, capital T, sorry, little c, and email me, mickmcdermott79@outlook.com. Once again, I can only repeat, I will get to all your emails. I'll make sure if you're having any trouble accessing the site to get on there. Tell your friends, tell your neighbours, sons, daughters. They sympathise. People we played football with, people up at the pub, people at the rugby club, wherever they are. It's a matter of principle, this. You're dealing with scum. We're dealing with people who only want losers, and yet the whole system won't tell you that. Nobody tells the truth, do they?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not one of them.
It really is an outrage what we're having to put up with. So we said that this was going to be a lot shorter than the last one. I think we've said our piece. It appears that we're targeting one or two bookmakers. We know that there are some far, far worse than others, or one or two who maybe have escaped complete criticism on here. It's not because they're good, but we tend to target the ones that are absolutely abysmal. Once again, please sign this. It's the only way of going forward. And if we get numbers, then we will get somewhere. I promise you we'll get somewhere and try to achieve something, but we won't until we've got the numbers, until the press picks up on it. So pile the pressure on these people who want to cover it up. Tell them that we're not happy about it all. Tell them that we've got people who are trying to achieve something. Not for themselves. It ain't for me, Rob. I can get on. You know, I can get on.
Yes, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But I'm appalled. Let me make that clear. I don't get on with these people, same as you get on. I don't go with Boyle Sports, Stan James, all the rest of this riff-raff and garbage. But I can get a bet on. So don't worry. If you can't get a bet, you're worried about it. Sign this. I'll make sure that you're put in a position where you can. But put some pressure on. Sign the petition. Get your friends in. Rope them in. It's a decent, worthy cause. We've put some mileage into it. So get them involved. And a little message, a little slogan here. Get 5 and we'll get there. If everybody watching this, or everybody who signs, gets 5, we'll get there, believe me. And I'm sure you all know 5 involved. You know, you've got them already, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got mine, yeah.
And I've got my 5, and I keep working every day to find someone legitimate who I can put on here. So, have you got any summing up, Rob?
Just basically mirroring what you've said, Mike. Sign the petition, don't sit on your hands. Get 5 more, we'll be there in no time at all. Yeah,
please sign the petition, and thanks for listening to us. We will get there. If you help, we will get there. Let's see some progress. Let's see the numbers up in over 1,000 by the end of this week, and I honestly believe we'll be getting them worried, and that's what we want. We want them to sit and look and think, these people aren't going away. We thought they were going to go away this lot, but they're not. They're persistent bastards.
I don't think they understand the strong undercurrent.
No, they've no idea.
Bubbling under.
They have no idea.
No.
So let's get them, and let's get the numbers up. And who knows, in a few months' time we might be on the way to trying to achieve something, but we won't achieve anything until we've exposed them for what they are. That's the main aim. Expose this filth, because until you do, you get nowhere. So thanks again for watching. We've kept it a lot shorter than usual. We know everybody's got the message now. I'll put the link on my little bit on Twitter. You'll pick it up from all the legions of other people. They know who they are. Traders Decision, Andy Goslin, many, many more. I could go on, mention all of them. Brilliant allies, brilliant helpers down these past few months. Keep going, lads. Stick at it and we'll get there. Okay, see you.